Please don't retire, Daniel Day-Lewis. Please don't retire. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list, and welcome to my top 10 favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movies. Yes, if you haven't heard in the past recent few days that Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the great actors working today in cinema, is quitting movies. Yes, he is retiring from film after he does his last movie with Paul Thomas Anderson next year, and yeah, it's really sad news. Like, right when I heard that, I'm like, no, he can't retire. He can't. He's one of the great actors, one of the best actors working today. He's never given a bad performance, and I'm here to celebrate his performances and mostly his movies that he's played in this top 10 list. This is my top 10 personal favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movies. So yeah, let's get to it. Coming at number 10 is My Left Foot. Yes, I know everyone's like gasping right now, like, oh, how is this just number 10? This should be number 1 or number 2, or at least the top 5. This is a subjective list, like all my lists are, and I do like this movie. I think it is a bit Oscar baity, and I don't have the love for it like everyone else does, which is fine. Like, yeah, everyone has an opinion. I think this movie is very emotional, very well done, very well directed, and I do enjoy this film. Mostly I enjoyed for the two lead performances. Brenda Fricker is amazing in this film. She was nominated as well. She was so great. Daniel Day-Lewis playing this man with cerebral palsy. I can't talk today. That's what he has. God damn it, I can't even talk today. Anyways, yes, he is a man who can't move any part of his body. He can barely speak. He can only move his left foot and stuff. And yeah, it's a really tragic story. And what Daniel Day-Lewis had to do to play this part, he actually spent all his time when he was on set in a wheelchair and had people on set actually feeding him and stuff. He acted like he was actually a person who had this disorder and who couldn't walk and stuff. That's how into the mindset he got into this character, and Daniel Day-Lewis' performance is so freaking good. He won the Oscar. This was his first Oscar win, and it was absolutely amazing. It was a sensational performance. Him and Brenda Fricker was absolutely amazing. This movie also is a really well executed story, and again, it's not a movie that I love like everyone else, but I still think it's a very good film, and one of Daniel Day-Lewis's bests. Coming number 9 is The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Yes, this is a movie I guarantee nobody's barely even heard of. This is a really interesting character study film. It's a very sexy, dramatic film, and it's a very odd and weird and abstract film, but I absolutely love it. This movie is directed by Philip Kaufman, and this movie co-stars Juliette Binoche and Lena Olin. Both give great performances. Mostly you watch this movie for the phenomenal direction, great storytelling, and the three lead performances, Lena Olin, Juliette Binoche, and Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis himself is amazing in this film. I love watching this movie because I love these interesting characters, even though a lot of them don't make the most likable or logical choices in life. When I was watching this movie, I just wanted to see how this movie played out, how these weird decisions these characters were making were going to pan out for them in the ending of the film. And it was really well done, this movie. This movie is a grind through. It clocks in at almost 3 hours, and yeah, if you're not into really long, drawn-out, dramatic films, definitely don't check this movie out. You might find this movie very boring, but I wasn't bored by this movie. I was actually intrigued by this movie. I was learning a lot about these people, and it was very odd and weird, but I really was into it. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the performances. I enjoyed these weird decisions these characters made. I did want to see where the story was going. I thought the storytelling aspect was really well done and very well written. And yeah, it's a very weird and abstract film, but I absolutely love it. And yeah, if you're a fan of Daniel Day-Lewis, definitely check it out. Coming number 8 is The Age of Innocence. The Age of Innocence has, great performances. This is Daniel Day-Lewis, Michelle Pfeiffer, Winona Ryder, all of which give great performances. This movie is very well executed. It's directed by Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is so good. I never thought Martin Scorsese could do a period piece film, but it shows what I know. Martin Scorsese can do anything. He did Hugo, so he can do kids movies as well. So yeah, Martin Scorsese can do no wrong. He's like Spielberg or Kubrick or Hitchcock. I love how this movie's directed. I love the pure piece setting. I love the production, costumes, and most importantly, the performances. The performances by everyone, especially by Daniel Day-Lewis, is all solid. I love the romance, the dramatic aspects. I love the politics about this movie. I love how this movie is paced as well, and I just think it's an all-around enjoyable story, interesting story, and very well layered story, and yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Coming number 7 is Gangs of New York. Gangs of New York, wow, another Martin Scorsese film. This movie is so great, so intense, so brutal, so gritty. I absolutely love it. This movie's great. Leonardo DiCaprio is solid in this movie. Cameron Diaz is even pretty good. John C. Reilly, Liam Neeson, all great. But the show stealer is Daniel Day-Lewis as the Butcher. He is so freaking amazing. Again, Daniel Day-Lewis really went into the character, went into the mindset of this villain, and it was amazing. What an amazing performance. He was nominated for this. He probably should have won. This should have been his 8th Academy Award win. This is an amazing performance. Definitely top 4 best performances by Daniel Day-Lewis. He is so great. I love this entire story about these gangs in New York and how they rule New York City and stuff, and it's amazing. The time period it takes place in just feels like you're in this time period with all these characters. You follow the story properly as a proper 3-act structure. It's well layered, well executed. The way Martin Scorsese directed this film was amazing. It's amazingly well written, very compelling, very emotional, and very brutal when it comes to its action sequences. All the action scenes are very brutal fist fights, and they're done so well. And yeah, I love it. You feel the brutality of this movie. You feel the realism of this movie. You follow this character, Amsterdam, and you enjoy this character. You want to see this character succeed. You want to see this character get his revenge on the Butcher, and it's so well done. I love this movie. It's amazing. One of my favorite Scorsese films, and of course, one of my favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movies. Coming number 6 is In the Name of the Father. In the Name of the Father is a really great, realistic, true story, actually. This is a very good movie. This is basically about these people that were framed for a terrorist bombing that they did not do. They are framed for being IRA terrorists who bombed this bar, I think, and it killed innocent people. And these 4 people were framed for the bombing, and they basically get sent away to prison for 15 years for a crime they did not commit. And it's up to this one lady, played by Emma Thompson. She solves the actual mystery of the bombing and proves the innocence of these people. Daniel Day-Lewis plays the lead character who gets imprisoned with his father, and yeah, it is a very brutal story, very gritty story, and very tragic story. And it's also very uplifting near the 3rd act, because it's about proving your innocence and what the right thing to do is. And it's also about the corrupt government during this time period. And it was a really well done film. This is directed by Jim Sheridan. Amazingly well directed, and Daniel Day-Lewis gives an unbelievable performance, and yeah, just one of the bests. Coming number 5 is Lincoln. Yes, Honest Abe Lincoln. This, again, amazing performance. This is probably the 2nd best performance Daniel Day-Lewis has ever given in a movie. He is Abraham Lincoln. When I watch this movie, I do not see Daniel Day-Lewis. I see Abraham Lincoln, and it is amazing. It's an amazing performance. He looks the part with the costume and the beard and the voice. That was Lincoln. It's an amazing performance. Everyone gives an amazing performance. Tommy Lee Jones, Sally Field, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jackie Earle Haley, David Strathairn. Everyone is amazing. John Hawkes. Everyone is fantastic. Even a small performance by Dane DeHaan and Adam Driver. Everyone is so great in this movie. This is basically about the abolishment of slavery, passing this amendment to abolish slavery, and basically also ending the Civil War. This just shows you what Abraham Lincoln had to do to convince everyone to abolish slavery, and he had to do some pretty shady things. Abe Lincoln was a great man, but he had to do some things to get shit done, and it was really well done, this movie. Very realistic. The dialogue's fantastic. Seeing these politicians interact with each other, the good side, the bad side, the Republicans and the Democrats, very well done. My favorite scenes are all the debating scenes with the Republicans and the Democrats, debating this annulment, debating whether they should abolish slavery. All those scenes in the courtrooms are the best scenes. Dialogue at its best and acting at its best. The performances by the entire cast is so well done. Steven Spielberg's direction is absolutely solid. Daniel Day-Lewis, of course, deserved the Oscar win. Everything about this movie is absolutely brilliant. Some people find this movie very boring. I strongly disagree. I find this movie very educational, very accurate, and I just absolutely love it. Coming number 4 is The Crucible. The Crucible is such a brilliant film. This is about the Salem witch trial. It's based off a play that is an amazing play. I've never seen the play in my... I've actually, like, the real actual play. I actually saw a college play about The Crucible. It was a bunch of college kids near my hometown doing the play. They did a good job, but yeah, that's how I first heard about The Crucible. But then I started reading books about The Crucible and the Salem witch trial, and then I found there was a movie about it. And I watched the movie, and this movie is so good. I love this movie. Joan Allen is in this movie with Winona Ryder, and of course Daniel Day-Lewis. And it's basically about these girls who are doing all these like black magic, these weird worshipping, dancing and stuff. And basically they get accused of witchcraft. And then this big trial happens and stuff. And basically this is about the Salem witch trial. And Daniel Day-Lewis gets accused, you know, being a participant during the witchcraft, during this trial and stuff. And yeah. It's a well-done movie. This movie is so well acted, so well written. Jeffrey Jones is also in this movie. He's also really good. Again, it transports you into the setting, to the time period during Salem, and basically it shows you the realism of Salem because it was basically all bullshit. Basically, it was a bunch of people being afraid of something they couldn't explain, and they just assumed everyone was a witch. Burn the witch, hang the witch. Whoever was involved, they just hanged them for no reason because they just assumed witch. They all worship the devil and stuff, and yeah. It shows the brutal realism, the tragedy of the Salem witch trial, and it's so well done. The performances and the writing for this movie is absolutely solid, and it's one of my favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movies. It's so good. Coming number 3 is There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood, again, one of my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movies. So good. This right here is the best performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. I drink your milkshake. So good. Daniel Day-Lewis is perfection. This is his best performance. May not be his best movie, but performance-wise, it's a perfect performance. Very well deserved at the Academy Awards. Amazing. Paul Dano is also really great in this movie. It's beautifully shot. The cinematography is really great. The pacing is really slow and uncomfortable, but that's exactly the point. I love this movie. It's hard-hitting, it's deep, it's moving, it's dramatic, it's emotional. How it all pays off at the ending is absolutely brilliant. Definitely not my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie, but still a damn great film, and a damn near perfect performance by Daniel Day-Lewis. It's so good. Coming number 2 is The Boxer. The Boxer is such a great, deep, realistic, raw, gritty film, and I love it. This movie's great. Again, this is directed by Jim Sheridan, and it's not my favorite Jim Sheridan movie. It's my second favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movie, but it's also my second favorite Jim Sheridan film. I don't want to say what my favorite is, because I might do a ranking of Jim Sheridan's films later on, but I love this movie. I think this is a great film about a guy who went to prison, basically wants to get back into the working business, but then he goes and beats a boxer again for this organization. And again, I don't want to spoil too much, but how this movie unravels itself and how the movie ends is so well done. It's about the criminal organization and boxing and stuff. When I think of this movie, I think of like Cinderella Man meets On the Waterfront. This movie is so well done. I love how it's directed. I love every performance in this movie. Brian Cox, Emily Watson, and Daniel Day-Lewis, again, is so amazing. The boxing scenes feel very graphic and very real. You feel like you're in that ring with these people fighting. I love it. I love how raw this movie is and gritty this movie is, and everything about it is just amazing. It's one of my favorites. And my number 1 favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movie is, everyone knows what it is. It's my favorite Michael Mann movie, and it's my favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movie, and that is The Last of the Mohicans. Again, Daniel Day-Lewis did a lot to get into this role. Again, I heard he spent like weeks in the wild to learn how to hunt and learn how to live like the Mohicans, and I absolutely love everything about this movie. This movie is so amazing to me. It's one of my favorite period piece films. It's one of my favorite like history films. It's my favorite Michael Mann movie. Everything about this movie I absolutely adore. Daniel Day-Lewis's performance is amazing. Everyone's performances are fantastic. I love the story of this war, about these people taking over the land and the war of the Mohicans and stuff, and I love it. The action scenes are great. The romances between Daniel Day-Lewis and I forget the girl's name, but they have great chemistry with each other. The tragedies of the ending is so freaking, oh my god. This movie is absolutely epic too, with its war sequences and action sequences. It also has one of my favorite scores in any movie of all time, right there with Psycho and Star Wars. It is a brilliant score. The ending of this movie just makes me so inspired, makes me so pumped up. I'm just like, oh my god, yes! I love this movie. Everything about Last of the Mohicans is brilliant to me. It's my favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movie. Hands down, it's so good. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movies. So in the comment section below, please tell me, what are your top 10 favorite Daniel Day-Lewis movies in your opinion? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.